will not make this putt, you jackass!
Why don't you shut the hell up?
Welcome to a video on how to get good at the Golf Star, perhaps. Well, what is there to say about all-star variants when each one really is just a lesser version of the stock variant in most aspects? Whatever, let's get started. The Golf Star is a variant of the All-Star class, who claims to be a distant relative of Gilmore, but instead of traditionally playing golf, he just turned the sport into a fucking weapon because that makes sense. The Golf Star's primary weapon, as it should come to the surprise of absolutely fucking no one, is of a golf ball minigun that was made precisely out of 13 different golf clubs, 5 different car engines, and somehow powered by an iPhone 4. The weapon fires at 800 rounds per minute and can fire for up to a maximum of 4.1 consecutive seconds before suffering an overheat, where the weapon will become unavailable for the next 3.8 seconds. Each shot fired can deal 5 damage for a normal hit and 6 damage for a critical hit, though the weapon does suffer a noticeably amount of drop-off, with it going down to 3 damage for a normal hit and 3.6 for a critical hit. The Golf Star's weapon also has the unfortunate property of cooling down at half the speed of most other all-star weapons, at only 0.3 heat per second. This makes 1 second pauses not as effective, and also ties into why his overheat penalty is noticeably longer, at almost 4 entire seconds. Because of this, heat management is critical with this variant, since the penalty is longer than the average Fortnite player's attention span, and getting stuck in that long penalty can easily spell defeat for you. So it is strongly suggested to give it a longer pause than most other weapons, and to also throw in one of your abilities to deal damage, as to give the weapon time to cool off. However, this should be easier to do than most other all-stars, as Golf Star's projectiles travel extremely quickly and don't have as harsh of an arc as other variants at longer distances. Because of this, you can engage at much safer distances than most other variants, and have more consistency at longer ranges as well, which means that you can also safely take time for your weapon to cool off. And because you can engage at these longer distances, you'll have plenty of time for your weapon to recover. Going along with this increased projectile velocity, his weapon also features an increased zoom, making it easier to spot and focus on enemies at long range. However, do take into consideration that when aiming down sights and firing, the camera shakes harder than a vibrator on max setting, so if you do end up getting motion sickness easily, please ensure that a sick bowler is prepared next to you before beginning your gaming session with this golf enthusiast. The optimum upgrade setup for the Golf Star would be the damage, overheat, and health regeneration upgrades, with the damage and overheat upgrades being especially important, as they allow the Golf Star to not only dish out higher levels of damage, but to also keep his weapon in for longer periods of time, as well as making high health opponents such as Citrons or the Barbecue Tree Man not so risky to take on. And the health regeneration upgrade, due to his tag-like nature and not having to wait around as long for health to regenerate. In terms of strengths, the Golf Star offers much more consistent results at mid to long range engagements, with his fast projectile speed, enhanced zoom, and minimal projectile arc. His higher rate of fire also makes him able to deal damage at a consistent pace. However, the Golf Star's poor heat recovery rate of 0.3 does mean that his weapon takes longer to cool off from uses, and his total overheat penalty is also longer as well, which makes those situations rather inconvenient. Lastly, the intense camera shake when firing his weapon, especially whilst aiming, can throw off your accuracy greatly and make it hard to focus on certain targets. Thanks to this guide, you will now be the master of being a jackass and watch as your weapon overheats right before you can secure a kill, and be forced to just sit there and die because it takes forever to fucking recover. Be sure to come back for the next episodes next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.